an MVP, took his team to the Super Bowl, and probably would have won it if he didn't play Denver when Denver had an elite defense. When it was Manning's last year, and the only thing that carried them to the playoff and to the Super Bowl was that defense.
The no-fly zone defense. I remember that year.
Yeah, it gave me nightmares. It reminded me of the Legion of Boom in Seattle. They were physical and they didn't let anything get past them.
Hmm. That could be a topic that we could talk about someday. What do we think is the best defense in NFL history?
Legion of Boom.
I say the 2000 Ravens.
Biasly. I'm saying it biasly because my favorite NFC team is the Seahawks, and I saw that defense firsthand. But I do like the Bears. You know their elite defense that they had. I can't remember the nickname for it.
It was the 46 defense, 85 Bears. But
That's what it is.
I say the best defense in NFL history is the 2000 Ravens. They didn't allow a single 100-yard rusher in that season.
Yeah.
And also, if you look back at the playoffs, they played against Denver, they played against Oakland, they played against Denver, Tennessee, Oakland, Giants. Only allowed one touchdown the entire playoffs.
No, yeah. That's something when the off season comes, we're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about history wise because we're still gonna be doing this. It just won't
Yes.
be recaps. It'll just be our podcast. But yeah, so um, technically, we're not as high up as Ryan Clark as media members.
Right.
But with what Aaron said, I feel personally attacked a little bit because he did come at media members. And I consider us to be media members because we run a podcast on YouTube. That is a media platform. Um, I've also, Aaron, just so you'll know this, if you ever see this video, I've done media at sporting events before. And guess what? I never strapped up a fucking helmet and put pads on. And I still cover the game and analyze the game. And by the way, I analyze you. And I'm going to analyze you later because we're going to talk about how you cannot go back to New York and how you and that entire organization owe Zach Wilson an apology in front of him for
Hmm.
the world to see. A public live stream, if you will. Make it a live stream publicly of your apology because you owe him an apology. And you owe Robert Saleh an apology, and Nathaniel Hackett, and Coach Brick, and everybody in that Jets organization for robbing from them. You stole money from them.
Would you also include Rex Ryan in it as well?
Absolutely. And Greeny. Greeny loved you. He loves you on the Jets, and you ruined his life the last 2 years because you just had to go. I don't blame you for the injury because that was a freak thing. But this year, I blame you.
I do too.
By the way, I started watching earlier, so he's got that new documentary out on Netflix, Enigma or whatever the heck it's called.
The
Anyway, I
super
watched.
fan?
No, Rogers has one.
Man, who cares?
So no. I watched like the first 5 minutes of it, and I said, "This is already stupid. I'm not watching this again."
I mean, before I know we're going to talk about Rodgers about again, but
Yeah,
I'm just going to flat out say this mofo does not need to come back. He needs to retire.
no, he needs
Retire,
to get.
Aaron Rodgers.
But here's the funny part, though. Ryan Clark made a great point. Because I don't know if you saw McAfee's show yesterday or if you saw clips of it.
I did.
Rogers said, Rogers said, if you're going to talk about me, you know, also, you name your name, your accolades, all that. Make sure you name your VAC status. So Ryan Clark made a video today and posted it, and he named he said his name. He named that he was an Emmy winner. He's also a founder, a co-host, and a owner of an Emmy-nominated podcast. He named several of the famous guests he's had on that podcast, and he named his VAC status since that was important to Aaron. And he said, it. What bothered him the most is Aaron is getting paid or was getting paid by McAfee. I don't know if he is anymore, but was getting paid by Pat to be on Pat's show because Pat felt like Aaron earned the money because of what viewership he brought.
Right.
Which fair. Look, I completely agree. If you're on a show and that show is making money and you're part of the reason why a lot of people watch, you should get paid.
Right.
I believe in taking and look, ESPN doesn't do that, to their guests that they have on and stuff like that. That's their prerogative. It's not my business. I'm never gonna say no to being a guest on ESPN. Hey, Stephen A, big fan of your show, your podcast. Everyone have me on as a guest, that'd be awesome, you know. Marcus Spears, big fan of your podcast as well. Swagoo podcast. You ever want to have me on? I'm open to it, for free. I won't ask for anything, I just want to do it for free because I think it'd be cool. Um, but
Hey,
like,
Marcus Spears, I'm a Dallas fan, so you gotta add me on too, man.
no, he needs to apologize to you. What he need to do? He need to apologize to you, bruh. Nah, he needs to apologize to you. He needs to say, "I'm sorry you're going through this pain of being a Cowboys fan." By the way, Micah Parsons, we're not going to talk too much about it, but Micah Parsons needs to just shut up. Just shut up. Stop talking. You're making it worse. But, um, no, as far as Ryan Clark and Aaron Rodgers, I'm on Ryan's side. Aaron is being a hypocrite because he's literally on TV on the network that Ryan works for, on the network that Pat works for, that he's also on there with a former teammate of his who helped him win that Super Bowl in AJ Hawk,
Yep.
talking about former players and people in the media talking about him. Even though he comes on that show all the time and talks about himself and talks about players in the league. He literally does an analyst job every Tuesday. It's just not his full time job.
Right.
So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm on Ryan's side. I think it's funny because I can't wait for next Tuesday when Aaron's on McAfee. I want to hear what he has to say, especially if they come off a loss. Because here's another
Right.
thing. I'm going to say this. Aaron, you need to not pay attention to what the media says about you and focus a little bit more on, I don't know, winning a football game.
Right.
Like, you beat Jacksonville. Good job. That's beating the Giants.
And you beat Mac Jones. Mac
And
Jones.
almost lost. Let's remember that. They almost lost that game.
Yeah, if he didn't throw that interception to Sauce Gardner, they could have had a chance to win that game.
So really Sauce won the game. Aaron didn't.
Yes. Sauce
Which is
won the
why
game for
wins
them.
which is why I don't think wins should be a quarterback stat. Like I
Yeah, because
genuinely don't think wins should be a quarterback stat.
yeah, he wasn't the reason that they won.
Right. Let's move on from the media versus player, Clark versus Rogers thing, and let's go to Josh Allen cannot lose the MVP. If this man loses the MVP, I swear to God, I will admit that the NFL is scripted. I'll say it. We'll come on this show, and you don't even have to be on screen, and I will just say, you know what? I think these conspiracy theorists out here, they got a point. If this man loses the MVP, he's got 3 games left, and he literally, there is no way I see him losing any of the three. The Patriots, the Jets, and the Patriots. You can't lose those.
Right.
And there's no way he plays bad in them. It's the Patriots, the Jets, and the Patriots.
I got 3 reasons why Josh Allen should get the MVP. You want to hear those 3 reasons?
I've got one reason, but I'll hear your
Go-
three first.
Okay, so reason number one, this man going into the season, everybody thought that he was going to be worse because he lost his safe cow, Stephon Diggs, when he went to the Houston Texans. He has shattered that. He proved this season that he does not need the Stephon Diggs to put up points. Number two, he beat both number one seeds this year alone. He beat the Chiefs and he beat the Lions. Both number one seed teams. The teams that people are saying should go to the Super Bowl this year. He beat them both. He beat them both. That's reason
Yep.
number two. And reason number three, he put up six freaking touchdowns against the Rams and five touchdowns on the best team in the league, putting up 40 points back to back games. No one else in the league has done that this year. There is no reason why Josh Allen should not win the MVP. And just like I said, the expectations were low for him going into the season because he lost Diggs and he lost Davis, his two best receivers. And guess what? He proved he don't need them. So there's no reason why Josh Allen should not win the MVP this year. No reason at all.
I'll say this. This is my one reason. My only reason that if he loses the MVP, I'm gonna say the NFL's rigged and scripted. 6 touchdowns against the Rams and 5 against the Lions. Oh, and I think we forget. He also is the only quarterback this year to have a passing, rushing, and receiving touchdown in the same damn game. Now, I get it. It wasn't exactly planned to go down as a passing, rushing, and receiving touchdown, but it still fucking did. It still did.
Oh, also, who did he beat in that game? Who did
Honestly,
he
don't
beat in that
remember.
game?
Honestly,
It
don't
was the
remember.
Chiefs. It was the Chiefs.
Was that the Chiefs game?
I'm pretty sure it was the Chiefs. I'm pretty sure
Honestly,
it
don't
was
remember.
it was either the Chiefs or Cleveland, I believe.
Might have been Cleveland. Because I don't think Amari Cooper was healthy for the Chiefs game, which makes his win against them even more impressive.
He beat the Chiefs. That's all I gotta say. He beat the Chiefs,
He beat the
who were
Chiefs and the
undefeated.
Lions.
The Chiefs were undefeated, going for that perfect season. Detroit only had one loss this year.
Okay, it might have been the Chiefs. Trey Lucado says it might have been the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think it was the
I
Chiefs.
don't, yeah, I genuinely couldn't remember. I just know he did it and it was fucking awesome. And look,
Very awesome.
I love Lamar Jackson and I love Saquon Barkley, but I don't give a damn how good they've been. Josh Allen has put Buffalo on his back and
Yes.
carried them. To credit Lamar, he has better weapons and he has Derek fucking Henry in the background. He doesn't need to be, he doesn't need to carry the team. He's got Derek Henry. And to credit Saquon, he does have Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith to help him.
And and a
He's
great
carried them.
offensive line. And a great
Exactly.
offensive line. Yeah.
Now we're gonna get into the last thing about the next thing about Rodgers. After this, we're gonna do this because this will probably be the longest part of the show. NFL Week game slate. Now I've got the games here pulled up. We've got Broncos and Chargers. Rodney, you pick. Who do you like, Broncos or Chargers?
Well, going off of from what I see, both teams are fighting for a wild card spot because one, two, three, and four are already locked up.